Steve Lacy is one of those artists who's mastered the art of doing more with less. His productions use an incredible mix of different techniques to capture a really incredible sound, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly how you can use those techniques to make some incredible Steve Lacy samples just like this one. 'Cause you're so ungrateful, yeah. Let's get into it, starting with tip number one, which is going to be the usage of drums. So for this particular sample, what we did is we used a very similar beat that we would typically use with Steve Lacy's kind of slow tracks, 74 BPM. I've got this kick laid out here, I've got this hi-hat, all kind of adding something. Export this entire piece out, pull out, create a new track that has this. So now we have essentially a duplicate of that track. And just by adding that in alongside our original track, we end up with an additional texture, which adds a whole lot of low end, a whole lot of beef to our original drum sample. So now it sounds like this. Combining that with some room and with some glue compressor as well, you get some really cool results. Number two, Steve Lacy is always making use of some incredible guitars, but he's not just using a clean Fender style sound to kind of capture that. What he's also grabbing are some really cool phaser, chorus and other destructive sound techniques to kind of degrade the sound of his guitars. And in this sample, what I chose to use was RC20 to actually capture some of that combined with some fuzz. So let's take a listen. I've got a dry signal here for my guitars, which I've played left version and a right version to kind of make them feel wider. I've added a phaser here. Then I've added some additional chorus here. But then this RC20 is also where we're doing a lot of the heavy lifting, right? So we've got some subtle wobble, some distortion. I've cut out some of the lows with this and even added some reverb space. And not just that, I'm also using fuzz very sparingly here with the mix quite low down to ultimately give a little suggestion of distortion, but not too much. And then a glue compressor to bring that all up to volume. Steve Lacy's always using real instrumentation to kind of elevate his music. So for this particular track, I actually chose to play in with a live bass, but if you don't have one, the Rickenbacker Contact library is also really good for this sort of thing. So we've got this here, which I actually played in. And it's very common for me to add this Ampeg, which adds a little bit of bass response, and I'm also adding the limiter to kind of crush those dynamics and make it feel like there's a really steady foundation on the bass. Now, once we've done that, we just want to find ways to add additional texture and add a little bit of characteristics that make the sample feel less like just a bunch of instruments and more like an entire sample together. So this is another place where I actually chose to pull out the guitar, and for this, we're playing a very simple arpeggio, and arpeggio is just a broken chord. So a chord that instead of playing all notes at once, what we're going to do is actually play them one at a time, and it sounds like this. And one of the coolest things about this technique is the fact that because we stay playing the same chord over our original music, what we actually have is every note gets recontextualized against the rest of the sample. So this is a really powerful technique to use, not just with Steve Lacy stuff, but just in general to get some really cool textures from your music. Another way that I chose to add some texture was using this Prophet 5 synth. So I've actually got it on the default setting here because the Prophet has some naturally really nice synth tones. But again, I'm using those choruses, I'm using things like OTT to kind of bring the presence forward for that particular sound. I've got some compression on as well, and I'm also using the Hass effect, which is going to make it feel way wider and push this sound to the very sides of our speakers. So let's take a listen. And lastly, Steve Lacy loves to add things like texture to his sounds to get a really cool tone. So I actually used Drew Grit's Sonics Textures pack to add some bar talking, some cassette noise to really make it. So that was kind of the basis of the sample. From there, I actually chose to add my own vocals. And if you want to learn exactly how to kind of shape these harmonies and how you find these tones and learn to add them onto your tracks, even if you can't sing, then I would book a free call down below. That's exactly where I'm teaching people how to elevate their skills and learn how to make music like their favorite artists. So this is one of the things that we cover, and it's a really powerful technique for taking your samples and just giving them a whole new level when you want to create those choirs, when you want to be able to create these types of backing vocals. For this particular track, all I did was sing these in, and even if you can't sing, you can use auto-tune, which I've done here, to kind of get them into a certain place. And from there, we just added some reverb, panned them over our stereo spectrum, and it added a really cool effect. I combined that with another lot of singing, and actually what I chose to do with this part was sing it in the gaps in between my original sample so that there wasn't too much clashing between my vocals. So we'll listen to both and you'll be able to hear how it actually only happened in the gaps. All I did then was kind of add this initial idea, which I felt like was the part that was leading into the chorus, and that gave us the entire sample, which altogether sounded something like this. 'Cause you're so ungrateful, yeah.